When Jesus was walking through Jericho, a rich tax collector named Zacchaeus wanted to see him. The crowd was large, so Zacchaeus climbed a tree to get a better view. Jesus noticed him and told him to come down because he wanted to stay at Zacchaeus' house. Zacchaeus then promised Jesus that he would pay back 4 times anything he had taken unfairly from others. Jesus called him a son of Abraham. Luke chapter 19 verses 1 to 10. By this, Zacchaeus showed he wanted to make up for his dishonest actions. Are we required to repair damage we have unjustly done to someone's property? Yes. We must repair damage we have caused to another person's property or pay for the damage as much as we are able. If a man harms a field or a vineyard and lets his animal feed on someone else's land, he must repay with the best of his own crops, according to the amount of damage done. Exodus chapter 22 verse 5. 1. If we accidentally receive stolen property through a purchase or a gift, we must return it to the rightful owner as soon as we learn it was stolen. We only have a right to keep something if we truly did not know it was stolen. Once we learn the truth, we must give it up. The beginning of doing right is justice. Better a little with honesty than great profits with wrongdoing. Proverbs chapter 16 verses 5, 8. 2. Someone who refuses to return stolen property or repair damage cannot be forgiven. God will not pardon him, and a priest cannot absolve him, even if he confesses many times. If a person will not sincerely decide to make things right, then his sin is not forgiven, no matter how many prayers, tears, or sacrifices he offers. Zacchaeus was not called a true son of Abraham until he promised to make restitution. Luke chapter 19 verse 9. 3. Justice demands that we repair the harm we have done, as far as we are able. Without making things right, forgiveness is not complete. Saint Alphonsus tells of a rich man who was dying from an infected ulcer. A priest urged him to return the property he had taken unjustly, but the man refused because he said his sons would be left poor. The priest then said that the disease could be cured if a living person allowed his hand to be burned and placed on the sore. The man eagerly called his sons, but none of them agreed to sacrifice their hand. Then the priest said, "See, none of your sons will burn a hand for you, yet you are willing to burn in hell forever just to leave them wealth." The man finally realized his mistake and agreed to make restitution. 4. A person who accidentally damages someone's property without any fault of his own does not have to pay for it unless civil law requires it. However, employees must take reasonable care of their employer's property. Are we required to return stolen goods, or their value, to the owner? Yes. We must return stolen goods, or their value, whenever we are able. If a man steals an ox or a sheep and kills or sells it, he must repay 5 oxen for 1 ox and 4 sheep for 1 sheep. Exodus chapter 22 verse 1. 1. If the rightful owner has died, the property must go to the heirs. If there are no heirs, it should be given to the poor or used for charity. If a thief cannot repay everything, he must repay whatever he can. If he used the stolen goods, he must repay their value. If he truly cannot repay anything, he must at least pray for the person he wronged. 2. If someone is too poor to make restitution right away, he must firmly plan to make it later and must try to carry out that plan. Restitution can be made secretly. For example, a money order can be sent under a false name, or the stolen goods can be given to a priest to return, since the priest is bound to secrecy. 3. If we find something valuable, we must try hard to find the owner. The more valuable the item, the stronger our duty to return it. If, after honest effort, the owner cannot be found, we may keep it. A mason repairing a stone wall once found a metal box hidden inside. It was filled with jewels. He kept it a secret and took some jewels to sell. The jeweler immediately had him arrested, because the jewels belonged to a rich merchant who had been robbed and murdered. Since the Mason could not prove he had only found the jewels, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. What does the 10th commandment forbid? The 10th commandment forbids any desire to take or unfairly keep what belongs to others, and it also forbids envy of their success. 1. We are allowed to want something that belongs to someone else only if we plan to get it in an honest way, such as buying or trading for it. For love of money is the root of all evil, and many people who long to be rich have wandered from the faith and brought many troubles on themselves. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10. 2. People who break the 10th commandment include a. Those who desire to steal or cause loss to others, even if they never act on it. b. Children who wish their parents would die so they can inherit their property. c. People who hope for wars, disasters, diseases, storms, or other tragedies so they can profit from high prices afterward. And d. People who deny the right to private property, such as socialists or communists. Communism is an extreme form of socialism that says all property should belong to the state, which would control all production and distribution. The Catholic Church has strongly condemned it in many papal letters, especially those of Popes Leo XIII and Pius XI.